Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. Super excited to see everyone here on our coffee break this month. We're going to go on ahead and get started here with a few housekeeping tips and reminders. If you have any questions at any point in time during the presentation, feel free to chat them in the chat box or the Q&A window. We'll have time at the end, but I'll be monitoring it. So if anything pops up, feel free to just ask. We are recording. Links to view the video and a PDF of the presentation will be shared with everyone tomorrow morning. For everything else, visit tristaterestores.com/VCB for our complete archive. Starbucks gift cards. So 10 lucky attendees today will take home a caffeinated gift. Stay to the end to find out who it will be. And for anyone, and I just want to make this announcement because I did have Miss Sarah let me know she didn't receive hers. If anybody had issues getting their card last month from last VCB, shoot me an email and let me know. I've heard from 2 people that Starbucks is just having issues. I've reached out to them a couple of times. I'm just going to reissue everyone's cards from last month today. If you'd rather, I can also send you a $5 Amazon gift card. So that I know for sure works 100% of the time. Just let me know. We're flexible. I want to make sure everybody gets their goodies. After the coffee break, please complete the post-event survey. We'll be seeing everybody next month, October 31st. This is a little detour from our regular last Wednesday of the month. Because next month, the last Wednesday of the month, will be at the Property Management Association's Expo. So it does get a little crazy there, and I don't know that I will have enough quiet time to see all of you next month. So we're going to switch everything to October 31st. We're going to make sure that we send out the announcements so everybody's updated if they're not here today. If you like today's presentation, we sincerely hope you do. We'd love it if you could post a review of Tri-State on Google or Yelp or Facebook. You have an opportunity to get a $25 Amazon gift card for your time. This is subject to Google's review and approval process, though. And stay to the end. One lucky attendee will win a very relevant gift for today's presentation. We've put together a disaster prep kit worth over $75. And this will really just ensure that you are prepared for, the unknown, for any future disaster that could or could not happen. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get started here. Who we are, for those on the call that are new to us this month. We are a family-owned, locally operated, and established firm. Tri-State is an independent commercial and residential disaster recovery expert based in the DC metropolitan area. We specialize in mitigation and remediation services that includes cleanup and restoration efforts of large and small water, fire, mold, biohazard, lead, and odor-caused damages. Our company's mission is turning disaster into peace of mind because we're committed to easing the burden of handling your property's disaster through providing you with the best customer experience and services possible. So again, just to take a look at our services here, we help people with water extraction, mitigation, and restoration efforts, mold and lead abatement, and asbestos inspection and sampling. We can help with fire, smoke, restoration, and odor control, biohazard, trauma, cleaning and disinfection, and sewage extraction, mitigation, disinfection, and cleanup efforts. We're licensed, insured, reliable. We're an IICRC certified firm. We hold our licenses for reconstruction in DC and Maryland. We're an EPA-led safe firm and an IAQA smart mold firm. We're 5-star rated across the board on most of the popular networks, and all of our employees are infectious disease control certified. So for today's presentation, September is National Preparedness Month. And just a little background about National Preparedness Month. It's an observance each September to help raise awareness about the importance of preparing for disasters and emergencies that could happen anytime. 2023's theme is Take Control in 1, 2, 3. And the focus is on preparing older adults for disasters. Because older adults can face greater risks when it comes to the multitude of extreme weather events and emergencies we now face, especially if they're living alone or they're low income or have a disability or even live in rural areas. So this year's theme is all about making sure that we're preparing everyone, but especially older adults that are under these types of circumstances to make sure that they're prepared for any disaster. And throughout the presentation, we do talk about a lot of resources that are available at ready.gov or through Health and Human Services. And then this is a link here I will share with everybody tomorrow morning. So just here's a quick video.
At FEMA, a huge part of our mission is to make sure we are preparing the nation for catastrophic events. As extreme weather continues to become more intense and frequent, disaster preparedness has never been more important. Older adults face even greater risks and challenges when it comes to preparing, especially those who live independently, have low income, have disabilities, or live in rural areas. This May, President Biden announced Older Americans Month, reminding us that older Americans are the pillars of our community, and we owe it to them to value their wisdom, celebrate their contributions, and champion their well-being.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. For some reason, my monitor has gone out. Just a moment here. I'm dealing with just a little. All right, can everybody hear me? Sorry about that. Somebody blew a fuse in the building and half of my electricity just went out. So that is fine. I'm just gonna try my best here to get everybody situated. Bear with me just 1 second. Let me get my presentation back. All right, here, let's see. Just a quick moment. Hold on 1 second, guys. I appreciate you hanging in there with me. I just got to switch everything to a new browser here. Let's see. And we will present. And screen. All right, can everybody see the presentation again? We're just gonna flip through here and get to where we were. Right. And again, my apologies, that was wonderfully awkward. All right, here we go. So the next step is to plan. We plan for disasters by knowing what disasters could affect you in your area. Some could call for an evacuation, some could call for a shelter in place. It's very important to know to plan for what you need to do in both cases. Again, ready.gov is a great resource. There is this link here, /be informed. It takes you to a lot of resources. You can search for your local area. It'll tell you where your local shelters are. It'll give you links to download your local apps for informing you of any disasters. And that way you definitely get alerts so that you are prepared. Keep the NOAA weather radio turned to your local emergency station. And monitor your TV for warnings about severe weather in your area. And again, this is another handy link through weather.gov/NWR. You can also download the FEMA app and get weather alerts from the National Weather Service for up to 5 different locations anywhere in the United States. So let's say you're a very typical DMV resident and you work in DC but live in Virginia or Maryland. You can have alerts set up for both your location of your residence and your location of your employment. And then this little QR code here will take you to both their Google Play and Apple Store so that you could download the app directly on your phone. Again, all of this will be shared with everybody tomorrow. So in case I'm going fast through these slides, don't worry, you'll still get all of these links. The next step in the process is to protect. Knowing when and how to protect yourself, your loved ones, and your property during disaster can make all the difference. Receive real-time weather and emergency alerts from the National Weather Service, like I said, for up to 5 locations. It'll help you also find a nearby shelter if you need to evacuate to a safe place. The last step, and hopefully this doesn't happen, but if it does, your last step is to recover. Find out if your location is eligible for FEMA assistance. You can find a disaster recovery center location near you, get answers to most of your pressing questions, and instantly connect with FEMA's disaster resources so that you can find the help that you need when you need it most. Visit ready.gov for more helpful resources. And of course, call Tri-State Restorations for assistance with your recovery. We're available 24/7 to assist you, and you will always get a live representative who works for Tri-State. No call centers here. The best way to prevent everyday disasters within your community is to encourage a culture of safety. Now, we say community, but that's not really limited to where you live. It's also where you work. It's also just in the streets surrounding your neighborhood. All of this is your community, and community safety is all about feeling safe, regardless of where you are. We suggest performing biannual property inspections. It's always better to be proactive than reactive when it comes to property damage. A large number of losses can be prevented by maintaining your property's appliances, inspecting them for common red flags by performing these biannual inspections. So we suggest testing fire alarms and emergency shutoff valves. A pro tip here is to hang emergency contact information on applicable valves and appliances so that anyone assisting with your emergency knows who to call. This is just an example of one of our multifamily community partners that we work with. We went in and tagged all of their shutoff valves so that even if one of their 24/7 on-site support people weren't able to get there, the resident has our number handy right next to the shutoff valve so they know who to call to assist them immediately. Check to be sure your property has been clearly labeled for any fire escape routes and procedures. A pro tip here, especially if you have young children, host a biannual household or community fire drill. It's really important that everybody knows where their meeting spot is, how to get there, and what the different exit strategies are. If you or your community that you live in has a pool, we suggest performing an annual inspection and ensuring that safety signage is clearly visible for all of your residents, both young and old. Continuing on with biannual property inspections, we would like for you to inspect your boiler and hot water heaters, especially those that are 10 years old and older. Our referring plumbers say that hot water heaters just don't have the 30-year lifespan they used to. And an aging hot water heater is often like a ticking time bomb. Look for rusting around the bottom, loose pipes, or water spots. Those are all red flags. Also, look for grading issues along your property's perimeter. And my pro tip here is the next time it rains, step outside and inspect the flow of rainwater. You want to ensure that this water is traveling away from your property towards a centralized drain or water collection area. If you see pooling or puddles, this is a red flag. You might want to get some assistance with your property grading. That's not, unfortunately, something that we do, but any type of company that does, outside work for grading and, that sort of thing would be able to help you. I highly suggest you take a look at, a local company that has great reviews and see what you can do from there. All right, continuing on, inspecting your HVAC units. You're going to want to make sure you're changing your air filters at least every 3 months. We recommend getting kind of the highest grade HEPA filter you can get. That's going to block all the different particulates that can really cause you harm in your indoor environment. Look for signs of exterior moisture, leaks, rust, and mold around your HVAC unit. If you smell a musty odor, this is also a red flag. Inspect your refrigerator and dishwasher lines. Look for signs of degradation and pinhole leaks. Set a calendar reminder for your appliance checkups. Keep all warranty and manufacturer information in a centralized and easy to access location in case of an emergency. Inspect sprinkler systems and fire alarms to ensure they're operable and ready for use. My pro tip here is to check your landscaping sprinkler systems too. Look for dripping water or dampness around the water line connections. Another tip here for inspecting property drainage and just making sure you're removing debris. This is a great example here of something that has been neglected for a little bit of time. They've got some plants growing in the drain, and that unfortunately is going to block that flow of rainwater and make sure that it's safely diverting away from your property. Inspect vacant and unoccupied dwellings to prevent damages as well. This is primarily for anything that has, plumbing or electric, not necessarily like your back shed in your backyard, unless that does have plumbing and electric. You're going to want to make sure that the internal temperature stays between 65 and 75 degrees year round. This is going to help prevent excess humidity and microbial growth, but it's also going to prevent frozen pipes. If anybody remembers all of the fun we had during December last year with those 2 and 3 degree weather days, making sure that your internal temperature stays in this range is going to help prevent any unnecessary disasters. And also inspect for unwanted furry guests and other pests. And don't forget about your furry friends. Make sure all walking paths are clear of debris, and if possible, have pickup bags. If you're a property manager on this call, this is a great way to provide back to your community residents, having these readily available in any park areas. Our four-legged friends are also, unfortunately, the last priority for responding emergency services personnel during an emergency. So another pro tip here, if you have furry or feathery friends, we suggest you invest in a special window or door cling. That way you can designate, how many animals you have in the home so that they're sure to look for them when everybody's vacating a property. Another tip here is to prep your emergency kit with the ID, photo, collar, and an extra leash for your pet. That way you're sure you have everything you need in case of an emergency. Disasters don't wait, so make your plan today. Here are 12 ways to prepare. Signing up for alerts and warnings, make a plan, save for a rainy day, you never know what might happen, practice your emergency drills, test family communication plans, safeguard your documents, plan with neighbors, make sure you're aware who your neighbors are, introduce yourself. It's always good to have friends. You never know when you might need them. Make your home safer. Like I said, Help performing these biannual inspections will guarantee that you're helping to prevent any unnecessary damages. Know your local evacuation routes, assemble or update supplies, get involved in your community, and document and insure your property. Now, here's another video here.
When the clouds form, the rain pours, and water is all around, you'll ask yourself, how prepared or unprepared are you? You raise your utilities, appliances, and such. Install a sump pump, clean the drains, just in case it decides to rain. You know your risks. Have you checked the local plans? You should cover your property with a flood insurance policy. Is your emergency supply kit packed? Is your family prepared? Did they know what to do, where to go, and how to stay safe? Because when the water starts to rise, you must act quickly and be wise. Turn on your radio, listen for updates. And if authorities tell you to go, hurry up and do so. Get to safe ground. Go as high as you can. Do what you need to do, but don't put yourself in harm's way. Just inches of water can sweep you away. Once the water is gone, move carefully. Be on the lookout for dangers you can't see, animals, debris, and electricity. Do not go home until you hear the all cleared. Now, when you get home, be aware. Not everything is as safe as it may appear. So before the clouds form, the rain pours, and water is all around, get prepared. Make a plan and keep yourself dry. Get started today. Go to ready.gov/prepare.
All right, so just more friendly reminders about everything we've talked about so far. And like I said, disasters don't wait. It's really hard to prepare for natural disasters outside of making sure that you're ready for them. They can happen anywhere, anytime. And that's also why Tri-State is here available 24/7 to help turn your disaster into peace of mind. Make sure you have an emergency plan. Make sure you know who you're calling. Make sure everyone in your household has special considerations is taken care of. If you have young children, pets, make sure that you've got all the documentation and additional food and supplies for them. If you're in a flood zone, and here's a great way to check for that in your local area here, that is a way for you to check to see if you are in a flood zone so that you can make extra precautions like calling your local agent and upping your insurance policy to be sure you have flood coverage. This could help save you thousands of dollars in the event of an emergency. Consider the specific needs your property and residents might have when making your plan. This is for my community manager friends on the line today. How will your residents receive alerts? How can your residents provide emergency alerts to everyone else? Kind of a see something, say something. What is your community's shelter plan? And what is your community's evacuation routes? We also suggest having these kind of emergency call boxes installed throughout your property. And this really does help create a culture of safety and provide people with an opportunity to help take care of some emergencies on their own. One thing it does is lessen the load for you and your team, but another thing it does is help with much more fast response time. So make a plan for when disasters strike. Um, Create your evacuation plan. This is just a little sample here. Yours could honestly be a nice hand drawing, especially if you have kids. Get them involved, have them draw your home, and then show them the different exits that they're able to take if unfortunately you have a property fire or a flood. That way everyone knows how to vacate the property successfully and safely. Have emergency supply kits available and easily accessible. This is kind of like your go bag. It should be in a nice centralized location so that as you're running for your exit that you have designated as your emergency exit, you can quickly grab this and keep going. If you have to take the time to stop and pack, you are losing precious time to make sure that you're remaining safe. Designate emergency walking paths and driving routes to make sure you're vacating the hazardous areas safely. Ready.gov again is another great resource for this, and it will show you kind of on the map where your local shelters are. So if your route is heading towards one of those shelters, that definitely helps you make your plan. Provide your family and residents with an emergency phone list so that they're familiar with those that can offer support during an emergency. This is especially important for any children in your home to make sure that they're practicing the plan and they know who to call. Generators and air quality. So knowing ahead of time where you would run a generator can help prevent, unfortunately, deadly hazards. I think everyone has probably heard of a story of somebody using a generator, a gas generator inside of their home. And unfortunately, the vapors are very deadly. You know, we can't breathe the carbon monoxide that comes out, and it is deadly. And before you know it, everyone gets really sleepy and unfortunately passes away. And it's because they were using a generator inside of their home during an unforeseen emergency. So generator exhaust is toxic. It can sicken or kill you. Always put generators outside, well away from doors, windows, and vents. Never use one inside your home, a basement, garage, crawl space, tent, shed, or any other enclosed area. Carbon monoxide is deadly and can build up quickly, and it lingers for hours. Make sure you're building your emergency kit. This is why today's prize is one of my all-time favorites, because it definitely gets you started in the right direction. And we've got a lot of really good supplies, like a hand crank radio that even has a plug for your phone charger. So not only do you have a hand crank radio and flashlight, you're also able to give a little bit of juice to your phone in the event that you don't have electricity. We suggest packing water, snacks, flashlights, batteries, any important information and documentation, your IDs, social security cards, insurance policy, the evacuation route maps, and emergency phone numbers. These are all fabulous things to put in a supply kit. I've even seen some people put like toys and games, like a deck of cards. You know, when you don't have electricity, sometimes you've got to invent something to make up the time and have the time pass by. So anything you can do to think that you're preparing yourself for a few days without any supplies readily available to you, that's exactly how you want to plan for this. Here's just another example of a safety kit. Oh, that's a really good idea, putting a can opener. They've got extra batteries, like I said, flashlight, radio, tons of different things that will help you pass through the days when you're not able to get any supplies outside of what you already have available to you. So in closing, following proper mitigation standards after a flood, leak, fire, trauma loss is reported to crucially save time, money, and prevent unnecessary secondary damages. To recap, making sure you're going through your biannual property inspections also helps prevent these unnecessary damages. But if you do suspect you have water damage, mold growth, or any other property hazards, please give us a call on our emergency services line. Like I said, a live operator is available 24/7 to assist you with your property's mitigation efforts. We're also available to just be a helping hand and provide you with the knowledge and information that you need in the event emergency happens. So if there's any questions, I'll go ahead and take those now. I do appreciate everybody for bearing with me through my little technical snafu earlier. Hopefully the other half of the power in my office will return here shortly. And then I'll be able to be fully functioning again. So that's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Cinnamon. I appreciate that. Thank you for joining us today. Let's see, I did have a question. Okay, so ready.gov actually, it will provide you with resources for any state. Well, I did share a lot about the DMV area. I know that some people who join us for these coffee breaks are out of state or all the way on the West Coast. You can use that as a resource to find any information in your local area. And then the National Weather Service app is actually catered to your zip code in your local area. So you're able to search for your address and it'll give you the maps and the resources to your local shelters, regardless of where you are. It's not just a DC area thing. Oh, thanks, Crystal. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys enjoyed this. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks, Katrina. If there aren't any questions, any more questions here, I'm going to go on ahead and, let's see. Where do you purchase a hand crank radio flashlight for the cell phones? So the one we purchased was on Amazon. The entire kit is about a $75 value. The hand crank radio, I think it was $20. And I can share the link with everybody tomorrow if that's helpful. It's really cool. It has, a little USB-C connection so that you can charge your cell phone on it. It has the radio and it has the flashlight. We got a couple of these for around the office just for our own personal safety kits. And it doesn't take much. We cranked it maybe about 5 minutes and it had enough juice to power up a cell phone for about a 15-minute charge. So sometimes that's really all you need just to make that important emergency phone call. All right. So again, this is how you can reach us. If you're not currently following us at Tri-State Restorations on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn, I highly suggest you do. If you're interested in these safety tips, we share quite a bit throughout the entire month. A lot of nice tidbits there. And I do ask for everybody to please help us plan for future coffee breaks. Let us know what you'd like for us to cover next month by completing the post-event survey. It's super helpful for me if I'm able to deliver the information that you're looking for. And that would really, really help me out because I want to make sure that we're staying relevant and we're providing you with the information that you want. Sarah, how long of supply should you have with water? So FEMA suggests you have at least a 3-day supply of food and water. It should all be non-perishable and you should be able to store this in some kind of an airtight waterproof bag. Giant Ziploc bags are great. The gift that we're giving away today is a waterproof bag with the idea that you would put like your documentation in there so that it wouldn't get wet. As long as you're protecting it from the outside environment that may affect it, you should be fine. I just suggest making sure it's inside of something, even though it's sealed. Nobody really wants to open up a can of food that's been sitting in rainwater or that has smoke residue or anything like that on it from a fire. It's just not healthy, and we really don't suggest you touching it anyway. Yes, exactly, Michelle. Keep your water supply refreshed. Water does go bad. Make sure you're checking your expiration dates. That's probably something great for us to add to our biannual inspection, is just to make sure that your go bag is inspected and checked biannually. Look to make sure that nothing's expired, that you have all the tools and equipment that you could possibly need. Now, without further ado, I do have our grand prize drawing ready for today. And like I said, this has a dry bag. We've included a hygiene kit, a first aid kit. We're sending you some of the antimicrobial treatment Benefect Decon 30 that we use here for all of our jobs. And then the hand crank radio. And then what should you safeguard in this bag? Like I said, medical information, household identification, financial legal documentation, emergency or hotline contact information for your household, and any valuables or priceless personal items. And then to see a little bit more about critical documents and valuables, here is another great link at ready.gov so that you can check that out. All right. So let me take a look here and do my random number generator and see who our very lucky winner is today. All right, let me count 1, 2, 3. All right. Oh, congratulations, Gershom. you have won the kit. So I know you know how to reach me. Shoot me over an email. We will make plans to get this out to you at some point next week. I can't wait to bring this by and make sure that you and your family are nice and secure and ready for the next emergency. Congratulations. There you go, little confetti. Love it. And oh, I see people are being so proactive with this. I love it. So for the next 10 people, please share a response with one thing that you learned in today's presentation. I will shoot you over a $5 gift card. Like I said, I'm not sure what's wrong with Starbucks. Apparently, they're having weird issues with their distribution. If you'd rather have a $5 Amazon card, let me know. I'm happy to do that for you. I will be reissuing everyone's gift cards from last month, and I will be issuing this one's as well. Again, everybody knows how to reach out to me. So if you have any issues or you don't receive, please let me know. The last thing I want to do is stand between you and your special gift. Thank you all. You guys are such great listeners. Yes, it's crucial to build a culture of safety within the community, practicing with caution and foresight. Beautiful. Let's see, 12 ways to prepare. That is a great checklist slide. I love it, Gershom. Ready.gov, it's a fantastic resource, Gary. Definitely have that bookmarked. Across the board, it's a great resource, from everything from bomb threats to fires to Christmas decorations, holiday safety, space heaters. It is a wonderful resource for everyone. I recommend you passing that along to your family and friends. Yes, always be safe, report any issues like leakages to the relevant people. Exactly. Regular equipment service is necessary. Oh, beautiful. Thank you all so much. I had such a beautiful time with you all today. Like I said earlier, we'll be at the PM Expo on October 25th. We're going to detour from our regular schedule a little bit next month. We will see you all on Halloween. See you on Tuesday, October 31st. Again, let me know what you want me to do next month. If you want to do spooky safety, happy to do that. Anything your heart desires, make sure you fill out the survey. We look forward to seeing you all again. Thank you, everybody, for your time today, and have a beautiful rest of your week.